news. The mayor just announced that the city will no longer issue vouchers to migrants to pay for food, ending a controversial program that had repeatedly come under attack by conservatives and others.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott might have thought that he had the last laugh when he bussed tens of thousands of migrants from his state to New York City. But the Big Apple's mayor, Eric Adams, might have one-upped him. Adams is sending 4,500 arrivals back to the Lone Star State.
Wait a minute, hold on now. Isn't this the same Mayor Adams who thought busing migrants was immoral?
This is horrific when you think about what the governor is doing. Some of the families are on the bus that wanted to go to other locations and they were not allowed to do so. They were forced on the bus with the understanding that they were going to other locations. When they tried to explain, they were not allowed to do so. This is a national and statewide issue that has been unjustly dropped into the lap of New York City residents. We only make up 0.05 of the land mass in New York State. 0.05. That's what we make up. Yet we are housing over 99% of the migrants.
Trump hasn't been president-elect for a week, and already even Democrats are beginning to implement mass deportations. We're going to see what's really behind the Democrat hypocrisy with sanctuary cities and why they're seeing their liberal world implode right before their very eyes. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to give you a front row seat in the dawning of America's golden age that you made happen. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss a single video where we analyze the rise of a new conservative age, both here and abroad. Before we dive into things here, gang, we all know that our country witnessed a moment we'll never forget. We saw a man get shot, stand up, fist in the air, and in defiance, scream, "Fight!" Well, sadly, too many of us have lost our fight, and that's exactly how the globalists want it. They want us weak, out of shape, full of estrogen and microplastics. This is why we're so excited to partner with Choq. Choq offers a whole lineup of products formulated to increase your energy, your focus, detoxify your body, and based on clinical studies, boost your testosterone. In fact, the ingredients in the Choq Male Vitality Stack have been clinically studied to boost free testosterone by 87% in just 21 days. Unlike with gimmicky vegetable pills or powder, you're going to feel the difference, and they have the clinical studies to back it up. And right now, you can get 25% off your Choq subscription for life. You heard that right. For life. Just go to choq.com, that's spelled CHOQ.com, and use the promo code Turley. That's 25% off any subscription for life, and you can cancel anytime. Choq is made in America, and their all-American customer service team is standing by to assist you. It's time to make men's vitality great again. Get Choq today. That's choq.com, CHOQ.com. Promo code Turley. You can text or call them at 50-CHOQ-3000. That's 50-CHOQ-3000. Just hours after President Trump won a landslide mandate to implement the single largest deportation program in American history, left-wing mayors and governors were promising to fight back with renewed efforts at bolstering their sanctuary cities. And they were, of course, getting help from the borderline illiterates at The View.
And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means your family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, you know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
So according to the warped logic of Ana Navarro, you cannot enforce the law because enforcing the law involves punishing the law-abiding. Let that hit you. You can't enforce the law because enforcing the law means punishing the law abiding. You can't enforce mass deportations of illegal migrants because that will inevitably entail deporting actual citizens, people with legal citizenship. This is the absurdity that the left has descended into. We now have a political ideology that actively believes that it should be illegal to enforce the law. Talk about a walking contradiction. And that contradiction is unfortunately rearing its ugly head in New York City, where Mayor Eric Adams is quietly doing his best to bus as many illegal migrants out of the city as possible. Now remember, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, actually ran his campaign for mayor, promising to make the city even more of a sanctuary city for illegal migrants. He embraced this insanity. He basically promised to pay migrants to break the law by giving them free food, free housing, free cash if they cross the border illegally. And so as a result, illegal border crossings reach an all-time high under the incompetencies of the Democratic leadership, both in D.C. and in sanctuary cities across the nation. And so given their complicity in all of this, Texas Governor Greg Abbott had the genius idea of busing as many of these migrants as possible to these self-designated sanctuary cities, particularly the city of New York, which, of course, because they're walking contradictions, caused this hypocritical mayor of New York to have an absolute infantile meltdown over these relocations. But ironically, the busings forced Mayor Adams to begin pleading with bumbling Biden to secure the southern border, or New Yorkers were going to lose their city. Those were the Democrats' mayor's own words. We're going to lose our city. So as it turns out, he had no intention of giving all this free stuff originally. He had to save face once they started to come. And when they came, they filled up half of Manhattan's hotels. Half of Manhattan's hotels are currently occupied by illegal migrants. It's astonishing. I don't plan on visiting Manhattan anytime soon with them stats. Moreover, Mayor Adams has had to inflict budget cuts on city-funded spending and services in order to accommodate the illegal migrants. And here's the beauty of it all. How do you think New York voters responded to that? New York voters this past Tuesday turned on the Democrats like never before. Take a look at this. Trump made some of his best inroads of the election in freaking New York City. In a number of New York neighborhoods, we saw a swing of as high as 50 points to Trump last Tuesday. Yes, you heard that right. 50-point swings. The election modeler, Christian Hines, is pointing out that back in 2012, Romney was reduced to single digits in the Bronx. He got barely 8% of the vote. In 2024, Trump got nearly 30%. 1 in 3 residents of the Bronx voted for Trump. Absolutely unprecedented numbers for a Republican presidential candidate. It was even worse in the working class neighborhoods across Brooklyn and Queens, where Trump, get this, believe it or not, Trump got 75% of the vote in Brooklyn and Queens. 75%. It was a complete implosion support for Democrats. Christian is calling it a major political realignment inside one of the deepest blue cities in the nation. The Democrats' idea of sanctuary cities completely blew up in their face. And so it's no coincidence that Mayor Eric Adams, literally within hours of Trump's sweeping landslide victory, announced that New York would no longer be giving free money and vouchers to migrants. That program that was basically paying people to break the law is now officially over. And the cherry on the top, he is quietly busing migrants by the thousands out of his city. So what on earth is going on here? Why is it that we're seeing Democrats so vocally and proudly championing sanctuary cities? Oh, we're going to stand up to that evil Trump if he comes to try to hurt our people, only to do everything they possibly can to undermine sanctuary cities behind the scenes. Well, I'm sure you all remember that little incident that involved the rather privileged residents of Martha's Vineyard a couple of years back. Do you remember that? When the woke left had a collective meltdown over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis flying illegal migrants from Florida to Massachusetts. Remember this? The governor sent 2 planes of illegal migrants to the posh white liberal island of Martha's Vineyard, 80% of whom voted for Biden and his explicitly open borders policies. They even designated themselves as a sanctuary island. And how did those compassionate liberals on the island respond when those migrants showed up on their front door? They had the gall to call out the National Guard. They called out the National Guard to, shall we say, in effect, deport these migrants from their island. You literally can't make this stuff up. The Massachusetts governor at the time deployed up to 125 National Guard members to remove the migrants from Martha's Vineyard and relocate them to a base at Cape Cod. And all this happened within 24 hours after they arrived. And the reason, again, I kid you not, this is not scripted. The reason that they gave is that the 50 migrants showing up at the doorstep of some of the wealthiest, most privileged people on the planet they were causing a, quote, humanitarian crisis. You see, in the end, we really are witnessing the unraveling, the implosion of what was once one of the most pernicious and malevolent chapters in our nation's history. Democrat mayors, governors, they all champion open borders. They explicitly invite migrants to cross our borders illegally, but not for the purpose of ever coming to their safe Democrat havens. No. No, they champion open borders so that those who cross illegally will deliberately end up destroying the conservative culture of red states. It's no secret, even Newsweek magazine has highlighted this, that an inordinate number of naturalized migrants have been appearing in the all-important swing states. And it's obviously no secret that illegal migration has taken a massive toll on the red states of Texas and Arizona. In the end, these deep blue governors and mayors care nothing about illegal migrants. In fact, their actions demonstrate that they want them as far away from their states and cities as possible. No, instead, an increasing number of people, most particularly Elon Musk, believe this is ultimately about demographic change in particular areas, in particular states, red states, that steadfastly resist the ideological insanity of left-wing wokeness. But alas, unfortunately for them, as of last Tuesday, it was all for naught. Ironically, a record number of residents within their safe blue districts rose up and said, enough. We want our borders secure and our laws enforced. And when the single biggest mass deportation program eventually and formally begins, ironically, we'll have so many voters in these blue states to thank.